In 2013, Eric Loomis stood at the Wisconsin courtroom waiting for his sentence. He had pleaded guilty to fleeing the police in a car linked to a drive-by shooting. Now, the serious charges involving the weapons and the shooting itself were dismissed, but they were still considered for his sentencing. But what makes this case historic isn't what the crime was, but it was how the sentence was decided. Because this wasn't just about law and human judgment, but it was about a computer algorithm, COMPAS. So what is COMPAS? COMPAS is a risk assessment tool which was built by a private company, and it basically gives you 3 scores. So the risk of reoffending, risk of violence, and what is the risk of you not appearing in court. These scores, they are color coded and they are rated on a scale of 1 to 10. The judges can then use it to make decisions regarding your sentencing. But here's the problem. No one knows how COMPAS AI actually works. It is a black box AI. So you know what the input is. The input is all the questions regarding your family background. Do you have any criminal record? What is your age, your friends, job? All questions regarding you. And then these input questions, how they are weighted is not known to us, and how the prediction for the score is being made is not known. So how will you be classified as a high risk person? We don't know that. Not the judges, not the general public, no one except the company can answer that for you. Even worse, COMPAS doesn't assess individuals as individuals. It predicts the outcomes, comparing you to other people and based on their demographics and their records. So you can be considered as a high risk person not because of your actions or because of what you did, but because of people like you have the same answers that you had. More disturbingly was the bias, so gender bias, racial bias, where it would mislabel black defendants twice as likely as it would mislabel white defendants. So if you were a black offender, and you would be considered to be a high risk person even though you would never reoffend again, but a white person would be considered to be low risk even if they reoffend. So this brings us to explainability. In any courtroom, the accused has the right to examine whatever evidence is there against them. But how do you examine a number? How do you challenge a number generated by an algorithm? You don't even know how it works, and no one is allowed to examine. Legal scholars call this epistemic injustice, a wrong done to someone by denying them the ability to know and to respond. If you were judged as being a high risk person, but you don't even know how that prediction was made, how do you even contest to that? And even worse, COMPAS AI was not there to determine how long a person should be in prison, but it was designed to help with post-sentencing treatment. That's the danger of black box AI in justice, that without any kind of human context or accountability, it can make life-altering outcomes. Now, Loomis wasn't saying that he was innocent, but he was asking the judge to consider him as a human being and not just a number. He's not the only one. There was another defendant, Zilli, who broke down completely after receiving a COMPAS score of 10 out of 10, making him very high risk. And he just said that people do change, That's what algorithmic judgment does to a person. It takes away any kind of belief in human growth and it turns it into a probability or a statistical bet. It's not just about one story, it's about what happens when we hand over justice to machines. Yes, algorithms are very helpful, but when they become unexplainable and when they are statistically biased, they can be very dangerous. Justice isn't about predicting what the future is, but it's about understanding what the situation and the circumstances are and then making decisions. And no algorithm can replace human judgment in this case, when you truly need to see someone for who they are and not just as a crime that they committed.